Panning one-handed, always a fun thing to do on camera. Look at the gold! One pan! Mamma mia! Holy Alright, what was I talking about? Black sand, yeah, coarse black sand. If you can find coarse black sand, you'll find freaking good gold just like that. What's up guys, Chris here from Vo-Gus Prospecting. If you're new to the channel, a big warm welcome, and if you're an old moldy returning hat like this one, welcome back. Today I am out on Reedy Creek. I don't have Grizzly with me because it's National Park. That makes these about $1.30 a piece, Grizzly. Now, Reedy Creek is a very well-known creek here in Victoria, Australia. It's packed full of gold. It's one of the richest alluvial gold fields in the world. A lot of people cut their teeth on prospecting by coming here. Now, the gold here is renowned as being fine. I can tell you now that it's not. It's quite coarse. People who start here think it's quite fine, but once you've worked 200 to 500 mesh gold, this stuff's like nuggets. Now I'm out here for one simple reason, and that is the creek is practically dry. There's no water here. As you can see behind me, it's pretty much barren. I'm working in one of the only puddles that I found in this whole area, and it gave me a fantastic opportunity to get into an area that I found 3 years ago and I was never able to finish because of the depth. I'm going to show you my very first pan. I've just been walking buckets back from it. It's about 50 or 60 meters upstream, so it's a little bit of a hike considering how heavy these buckets are. As you can see, it's a granite base here, so there's lots of tin and lots of heavies. I did half a bucket of this clay, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is one pan from Reedy Creek. Reedy Creek's a piece of cake to prospect. It is the easiest place in the world to find gold. All you got to do is reach bedrock. And right now is the perfect time. I don't know why there aren't more people here. I know there's a lack of water, but there's still places you can process dirt and still techniques to get around it. And there's crevices accessible now that haven't been accessible in 3 or 4 years. So this is the time that you should be here. If you've got a creek that goes dry seasonally, get there, get right down to the crevices, stockpile your pay dirt, and wash it when you can. I'm going to keep going, and we're going to see what kind of gold we can get today. It's stuck. On Reedy Creek, this grey clay is absolutely king. If you can find dense, sticky grey clay, well, that's the sort of clay that you want over this stuff. This stuff is alright, it'll have gold in it, but it's real crumbly. But break up that clay. If you can find on Reedy Creek, every pan will be absolutely loaded. Panning one-handed, always a fun thing to do on camera. I just wanted to show you the reveal of some of the black sands, and look at the gold at the top. Straight off the bat, I can see several bits. You can see how coarse that black sand is, and that's what you're really looking for in Reedy Creek, is coarse black sand. The second, look at the gold! One pan! Mamma mia! Holy Alright, so that was what was left of that bucket down there. What was I talking about? Black sand, yeah, coarse black sand. If you can find coarse black sand, you'll find freaking good gold just like that. When there's lots of flow here, it's hard to find that clay and that black sand because you're limited to where you can get to. It's quite a deep creek. That's why you come here in the dry. The dry time's the place to get it. Look at that. Mother of pearl, that's sexy. This is the way we mix the pay, mix the pay, mix the pay. This is the start of my singing career. Yeah. Everyone vote for me. Now this stuff was my first bucket, I think, so it was taken from slightly higher up. I don't think it'll be as good. It's still got gold in it, but not like that last pan. We're probably doing like 20 or 30 bits instead of like 50. Looks a little like that. I'm just going to finish that last bucket off and go and grab some more pay. It's going to be a slow day. I'm limited, obviously, with water and how far I have to travel and the weights and all that sort of stuff that goes into doing this sort of prospecting. But it can be really lucrative if you got a recirculating system with a sluice. I could have done that today with the amount. I wasn't expecting that much water. I was expecting puddles. So I could have brought my recirculating sluice out. Never mind. We'll get this finished and then I'm going to take you to the spot and show you where we're working. Well, that's all we got for the last pan out of that bucket. Not nearly as much, and that's okay. Like I said, it's from slightly higher up. We want to get down to that really sticky clay. And the other thing you can find in Reedy Creek is gems. So this is where those buckets came from. You can see all the dirt that I sort of stripped away and pushed to the side, and it was a nice little V down there. So we're going to get a little bit more out of that crevice down there. And then what we're going to do is start stripping this overburden. Now this is someone's mullock pile that they pulled out from here. But when I worked this last time, I actually dug down and they didn't finish it. There's still more of that clay down there. The water must have been high and they weren't able to access it. So they've put their mullock right on top of where the good gold is. We're going to push this out of the way and then we're going to get some more buckets. Oh, that's the good stuff. I wish I had my yabby pump. But I was not expecting this much water. Woo, mama, I've been digging. I wanted to show you this. See that black stuff is 100% black sand, which means that whoever worked here before didn't actually touch that, and that's much higher than where I was before. 2 more buckets, 1 and 2. That's about 4 pans worth of dirt. And I am sweating. It's like 33 or 34 today. Humidity is really high because of thunderstorms that are meant to be rolling in. Holy crap, am I sweating. I'll leave the shovel here. That's one last thing I have to carry. It's hard enough carrying heavy buckets, but carrying heavy buckets over sand is really annoying. That's the first bucket I filled up that I wasn't too sure about, and there is gold. There's definitely gold, and they're good size specs. They're really good. I mean, compared to what you've seen me mine out in recent videos with all that absolute powder mustard, they're chunks of gold. Same bucket, and this time we got a little bit of clay, and the gold got a little better, so we got more specs and a little bit more size about them. I mean, if you're on Reedy Creek and you're not hunting solid grey clay, you're not doing it right. Now, I don't personally hunt gems or crystals, but I just spotted something in my pan that if you're a gem hunter or a crystal hunter and you want to find them, this is where you want to be. I just spotted this sticking at the back, which I think is a smoky quartz. Yeah, there we go. I mean, it's a crap one. It's not very good. There's much better on this creek. But if you're into crystal hunting, buying like a weed spray bottle backpack thing that you pump up and gets pressure, and you just go walk the gravel bars and spray them, and they stand out really, really bright. They're just sitting on the surface. So that's something. But for this one, I can go back to the gold gods. This bucket has a heap of that really dense clay that I was talking about earlier. And the first pan, not only did I get that crystal, I got a really good show of dense black sand tin, gems, and gold. That's those 2 buckets done. We're going to go back upstream and collect some more. I'm going to show you all the gold that I got for my 4 first buckets. Then I'm going to do my 4 more and show you what I get for the day. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is 8 pans or 4 buckets worth of gold from Reedy Creek. And the reason I don't prospect it more is simply because I'd rather have a day on crappy gold with my dog than a day on good gold without my dog. I miss Grizzly a lot. Last 2 buckets collected. So I've already processed 2, and we just got down and eked out the last of that really sticky clay. Now there's going to be more here, and I know I've thrown a lot of gold up in this rock as well. With a high banker, you could process it and you would have a really good cleanup. But again, I'm limited by water, heat, humidity, and time. The three horsemen of the apocalypse in the gold prospecting universe. So we're just going to process these buckets before I take you home and show you the amazing cleanup. I swear to you, come out here and you will have a great time. Eight buckets, 16 pans. 3 years after I started that hole, I finally got to the bottom, and it was beautiful to see that no one else had actually touched it. And that 3-year wait gave me this result. I am stoked with the minimal amount of effort I had to put in to get this sort of gold. It's just too bad I couldn't share it with my boy Grizzly. Now, doesn't that look nice? It is only a rough cleanup, obviously. There's so much tin in there, it's going to take me some time to get that spotless. And the other thing I haven't shown you is how many small gems in there. You'll get citrines and garnets and sapphires, and there's even diamonds in this area. Not that you're going to be able to tell if it's a diamond, but lots of different gems. And all of that gold, compared to where I normally work, is extremely coarse, which means it'll add up very quickly. Well, let's get you guys home, get the gold cleaned up and on the scales. This is the gold that we got in our 8 buckets, and you might be able to see some silvery pieces in there. That's amalgam, or amalgamated gold. It's basically gold covered in mercury. I find amalgam quite regularly, but never really too much to worry about, so I just put it in with the rest of my gold, and when it comes finally time to deal with my amalgamated gold, what I'll do is I'll run it through a little retort that a friend has. A retort is basically a still, like an alcohol still, but for mercury. To give you guys a little bit of scale, a Clash Guitars pick. Without further ado, let's whack this on the scales. .25 of a gram. In today's money, that makes this gold worth about 20 Australian dollars. Reedy Creek gold is actually incredibly pure. It almost always tests above 22 carat, which means you'll get close to spot price when you go to a gold dealer. But this is by far no measure of how good Reedy Creek is. I have personally seen people pull out an ounce of gold panning crevices from Reedy Creek. It is that rich. So my spot was pretty good for me for just going and having a bit of fun on a hot day in a dry creek. But there is gold there that will blow your mind hole. The weight's cool and all, but I mean, look at it. It's so pretty. Now, I have a couple of really cool videos coming up for you, including one from the very popular series from Dad's Reef. It led me to this rock, and it does this. Oh, we're getting a signal both ways. I found 2 pieces of ore that are giving me a fantastic signal out of the gold monster. And I suspect there might be a little nugget waiting in both of them. So if you would like to see that video that's coming up in the next couple of weeks, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Subscribing is completely free and it will give you access to heaps of gold prospecting content. Over 350 videos on my channel alone, not to mention all of my social media. My social media keeps you up to date with everything that's happening behind the scenes from Vo-Gus prospecting on Facebook, Instagram, my other YouTube channels, and my website. All those links are in the description below. I wanted to say thank you so much for watching my video where I got to take you back to the first place I learned how to prospect properly. It's always going to hold a special place in my heart, and I do look forward to bringing you more videos from this area in the future. Please give your dog, cat, duck, guinea pig, or lizard's ears a scratch for me. Peace, and I'm out. Yeah.